Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm in a little bit of a different scenery here for you. There's kind of a bit of echo in here. I don't know if you can hear it or if it's just me, but this is actually the room where I keep all of my records. Right now my phone is propped up on, like a 2x2 stand of records, and then we have my big 3x3 back there where I keep a lot of my records. But this is kind of just the empty room in my house that I have for storing records. And I thought I'd just record in here today. It's kind of spacious, and I thought I'd kind of change it up. One quick announcement about the channel I want to get out of the way before I get super into this video is that this will be the first video of my Friday at 5 o'clock schedule. Like I said in a couple other videos, I'm starting classes up again, so I won't have as much time to record and edit, make thumbnails, all that good stuff for you. So we're going to be doing one video every Friday, so once a week at 5 o'clock. So, weekends for people in my time zone, and you can go watch my new video. So it'll be great. So what we're talking about today is underrated albums by super popular artists. Now, I have a few in this little stack here, but I could make, 1,000 excuse me, 1,000 of these videos because it seems that a lot of the best albums by certain artists get overlooked a lot. So I'm going to just start off, and if you have any of your own that are criminally underrated by really popular artists, go ahead and throw it in the comments because I'd love to hear about it, and maybe I can make a part 2 to this. So first one here, most of these are classic rock. Actually, I think all of them are. I'm kind of just looking through. First one I have here is Frampton's Camel. I believe this was the actual band name. It was kind of like this new group he formed called Frampton's Camel. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's kind of the same idea as like Frehley's Comet or Frehley's Comet that formed after Kiss by Ace. But this is their album. A lot of Peter Frampton stuff is just, his live album. Everybody talks about his live album. And it's fantastic. It's like one of the most common $1 records you're ever going to find. But it seems that this album gets kind of overlooked, and it's really, really good. It's hard rocking, and it has the classic Do You Feel Like We Do song. It has really, really cool artwork, and it's just not really talked about enough. I think it should be getting a little more credit. It's a super, super good album. And if you ever find it, it's relatively cheap, or at least it was for me. So go ahead and pick this one up. This is really good stuff. I don't know why it's not quite talked about. Same label, AM. I'm not even sure if this is the first press or not. I think this would add up. Maybe. I don't know. It might not be. There might be a earlier pressing one, like a brown AM. Or A&M Records. Either way, great album. You gotta check it out. Second one, super cool album. Mountain Live. I think it's called, The Road Goes Ever On. And it's really cool because, if I'm not mistaken, some of these live tracks are from their Woodstock set. And it's just a killer show. The long red on this is absolutely wicked. It has wicked guitar. Leslie is just killing it. And, huge Nantucket sleigh ride on the back. It's the whole second side of this album. It's just a quick little single LP of some good rockin' live mountain. And it's definitely not a rare record. I've seen it quite a few times. It's kind of cool. It's a little bit of like all their albums covers put into this one just to make one. Really good stuff. Not expensive. It's on Windfall. I have a pretty clean copy here. I got it for $4, so definitely doable. I believe that Mountain not too long ago put out their like entire kind of Woodstock thing and kind of remastered some of these songs. They aren't. The one thing I would say is that the songs on here are not the greatest recording quality, but I'm sure it was really just the best that they could work with to get this on vinyl. But nonetheless, it's great. You got to check it out. It's really, really super duper stuff. Yeah, it's just fantastic. The next one is maybe underrated, but it's just not talked about, and it kind of gets neglected compared to some of the latter albums by them that come out in years after. But it's the Grateful Dead self-titled first album. This is really good. Not a first press, but it is a really clean copy. So, you know, I'll take what I can get. I paid 10 for it. You know, I used to think these were super rare, but I'm actually starting to see them pretty often now. And not for crazy prices. Maybe it's just me. And I do go record shopping quite often. So I think the best way to find stuff is just continuously going, because eventually you just run into it if you go enough. But this is really, really good stuff. Some 60s bopping songs, and, you know, some really psychedelic songs, and the classic Viola Lee Blues, which is the last song on the album. And it's just a huge 10-minute shredding, bluesy, jammy, classic Grateful Dead song. I really put this high up in my list of favorite Dead albums because it's so good, and it's just so true to their super, super early sound, the San Francisco sound. So yeah, this just needs to get a little more credit. I feel like a lot of people go for Anthem of the Sun or Oxymoxawa, however you say it. That's how I say it, and if it's wrong, I don't really care. But this just doesn't quite get the credit I think it deserves. I think everybody who has it in their collection should give it a couple more spins to kind of listen to it. Or maybe you already love it. Maybe you already love it. Go ahead and comment how you feel about it. But yeah, it's great. Grateful Dead, self-titled, come on. Come on, it's classic. Our next one, this could stir up a little bit of controversy in the comments to people who watch it. But I think this is one of the best Fleetwood Mac albums. And it really definitely isn't talked about. And it wasn't until recently, semi-recently, that this stuff got added to like YouTube and streaming platforms. And it's mystery to me. Super, super good album. Cool cover. Nice gatefold. I don't feel like getting it all the way out just because I'm trying to keep these videos a little more concise. But the first side of this album is just floored with really, really good quality songs. And a lot of people kind of just fly over it because a lot of people are under the, you know, assumption that the best Fleetwood Mac is the Stevie Nicks era. And I'm not going to say that's wrong, but I'm definitely not going to say it's right. Because it's just not the same. This just doesn't quite have the same sound. I mean, like, once you hit their later self-titled and Rumors and stuff, it's just a totally different, you know, sound change for the band. And so is this to some extent too, because it's not, you know, Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. But this is a really, really, really good album, I think, all around. I think it's kind of on, like, the softer rock side. Not quite as soft as stuff like Future Games. But this is really good, and I don't think it's super rare. This was a $7 copy. Plays phenomenally. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. It's finally on streaming platforms. I think it's just underrated for a band as big as Fleetwood Mac is, you know? So continuing on, a really popular band that gets not enough credit except for their one album. As soon as I say it, you're going to know the album I'm talking about if you know this band. It's Deep Purple, and I'm going with their self-titled album. Shades of Deep Purple definitely gets some credit. Has Hush, and they cover some Beatles stuff on it. And it definitely gets credit as, like, the really good earliest album, besides like stuff when you hit like In Rock, and of course Machine Head is really the low-hanging fruit of Deep Purple. Not saying it's bad, because Machine Head is, I mean, come on, it's like, you know, it's classic rock and Deep Purple. But as far as their kind of psychedelic stuff goes, I think this is kind of the strong point. I was gonna put either this or the Book of Taliesin. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's how it sounds like they say it in the song that talks about it. I could be wrong though. Like I said, some of these names are just brutal to talk about. But I went with this album just because it's not quite as popular, and this definitely is a little hard to find. Definitely. But it's kind of a classic psych album to me. I mean, it hits all the notes of good psych. Um, so I don't know why you wouldn't go with this. It's great. Yeah, check out this and their other. This is the third album of their kind of classic three. And I have two more in my pile here. Sorry, I got a little distracted. Someone was driving by. This is a criminally underrated album. It's still classic Sabbath, man. This is such a good album. Technical Ecstasy, really, really good stuff. Starts out with Backstreet Kids. That song is heavy and fast, and it's just raw. And I tell you what, it's a hell of a way to start an album. A lot of people don't like the cover. They say it's like two robots banging on an elevator or escalator, I guess it is. But I think it's cool. I think it's pretty cool. And I think it's a break from kind of all the other kind of stereotypical Sabbath stuff. I don't think there'll ever be a cover as cool as like Volume 4, because it's just so Sabbath. Or maybe Paranoid or Master of Reality. I don't know. It's so hard because they're all just such good classic albums. But this is a pressing I got. It was a few bucks. I think it was like $9. I still have the sleeve with the sticker on it. But it's really good. I think You Won't Change Me, the second song on this album, is like one of the strongest ballady Sabbath songs. I mean, it just goes unheard, and it has killer keyboard and lyrics, and to me it's just like, oh my god, this Sabbath is so good. Like, it's kind of a peek into stuff you would see in Ozzy's later career, like stuff like Goodbye to Romance or something. But yeah, this is just great. Definitely continue throwing this one on. I'm sure a lot of people have it in their collection, along with obviously some more of their classics. But this is really, really great album. And one more I have here is, I wouldn't say it's super common, but it's definitely not super, super rare. Huge name in rock history. And this album is ACDC Live. This is I think there's only one type of pressing, and it's the 2LP, and it's considered like the collector's edition because the stock CD doesn't include all these songs, only the collector's edition CD does. But this is a really cool album. It's a reissue. I believe, it's a 2003 reissue, and the actual album came out in 92. But it's kind of just like a 91 tour comp album of a lot of their live stuff. This is on heavyweight vinyl, and it's really not that expensive. Like, I never see it in store. I don't think I've ever seen it in store. I had to order it on, I believe I ordered it on Amazon or Discogs or eBay or something like that. I paid like $30 for it sealed, and I just got my brother a copy for Christmas, actually, because this is one of his favorite ACDC albums. And it was like, again, it was like $30. It's really not that expensive. I mean, it's as expensive as most 2LP sealed albums you'd get, but it's really, really good. This is an easy album if you're trying to get a noise complaint. If you're trying to get an eviction notice, put on this. I mean, this is just as loud as it gets. Really great track list. Kind of just shows their hits. I mean, you really can't go wrong. It's on streaming platforms. The only thing I will say about this, yes, it's an underrated album, but as far as the vinyl pressing goes, I hate to say it, it's just a little flat. I think part of the problem is this is kind of like dealing with the loudness war of CDs, and this album is just a hair flat on vinyl. Maybe it was just because it was so unbelievably loud that they really had to kind of compress it to get it on vinyl without blowing the grooves up, when your needle hits them. Or maybe they just did a bad job. I'm not sure. But it's Columbia, or I guess Sony. Yeah, it's Columbia, Sony, and Albert. Those are all the, original kind of AC/DC stuff. I guess they were on Atlantic. I don't know how all those if they got bought out by each other. But nonetheless, it's a great record, and it's a fine enough pressing for the price. But I would love to see some of this stuff have a new press, you know what I mean, on like yellow and red, like colored vinyl, kind of like the logo. I would love to see a repress of some of the less known ACDC albums. But this is really great. This is the last one I got to talk about, but definitely pick this one up. Definitely pick it up. It's a classic. That concludes my video, guys. If you guys have any underrated albums by really popular artists that you want to talk about, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I would love to make a part 2 to this video. It really didn't take long. I just kind of thought about what are the albums I love the most that just don't get the recognition like the most popular ones do, even though in other ways these lesser known albums are better. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys adjust to my new posting schedule. It was really nice to get a bunch of videos done and posted just to kind of get my foot in the door of the vinyl community, but I must slow down just a little bit to keep up with my schoolwork. So I will see you guys later. Go ahead, like this video and subscribe for more.